All right, let's jump right into this deep dive.
Let's do it.
Today, we're unpacking what it really means to be a strategic thinker, especially, in our incredibly fast-paced world.
Hmm.
Now, you might be thinking, strategic thinking, that's just for the C-suite. Or maybe some people are just born with it. And honestly, for a long time, I kind of thought that too.
Yeah, it seems like this big abstract thing.
Exactly. But we're here to tell you that's not the full picture, not at all. And that you can absolutely develop this vital capability.
Our mission today, really, is to cut through the noise and pull out the most impactful insights from Michael D. Watkins' excellent book, The 6 Disciplines of Strategic Thinking, Leading Your Organization into the Future.
A great read.
Definitely. We'll walk you through the core mental disciplines, share some surprising facts, and most importantly, give you practical ways to put these ideas into action.
Think of this as your shortcut, maybe, to truly understanding the mindset that elevates good leaders to great ones.
Spot on.
And what immediately struck me about this book right from the opening pages was the story of Gene Woods. It truly brings strategic thinking to life, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's a fantastic example.
He took the helm of Carolina's healthcare system, CHS, back in 2016. At the time, it was an $8 billion, 60,000 employee organization, very successful by, traditional measures.
Right, taking all the boxes.
But Woods, with his deep experience, he saw something others missed.
He saw significant vulnerabilities, big ones. He predicted these seismic shifts in healthcare, from revenues rapidly outstripping expenses
Which is a huge problem.
to political upheaval creating policy uncertainty, and even disruptive new private equity competitors just jumping into the space.
Wow. So his crucial insight was,
That CHS needed to lead consolidation in the region, or it would be subjected to the convened rather than the convener, a really key distinction.
and that insight didn't just sit there, did it? It catalyzed his next generation network strategy.
Exactly. And look what happened. 5 years later, that strategy transformed CHS into Atrium Health, a $12 billion system with 77,000 employees.
Incredible growth.
And he kept going, leading a merger that created Advocate Health, now the 5th largest nonprofit healthcare system in the entire country. We're talking $27 billion in revenue, 158,000 employees.
That's the staggering power of strategic thinking in action right there.
It really is. So what does this all mean for you listening right now?
Yeah, what's the takeaway?
It means strategic thinking isn't some mystical innate talent. It's a learnable, systematic skill set that's become more critical now than ever before.
Okay, so let's define it then. I think a lot of us have a vague idea, right? We know it when we see it, but how would you define it without that kind of hand-waving?
It's a great question, because a clear definition is, well, essential. Watkins distills it down to this: the set of mental disciplines leaders use to recognize potential threats and opportunities, establish priorities to focus attention, and mobilize themselves and their organizations to envision and enact promising paths forward.
So it's about seeing, prioritizing, and acting based on the future.
In essence, yes. It's about consistently looking beyond the immediate, thinking critically and creatively about multiple potential futures.
That makes a lot of sense. And it's also crucial to distinguish strategic thinking from related concepts that sometimes get, confused with it.
Definitely.
For example, critical thinking that's evaluating information logically, assessing facts, biases, arguments, it's absolutely a necessary foundation. You can't think strategically without it.
No way.
But it's not enough, is it? Strategic thinking layers on anticipation, creativity, vision, goal setting, and then, crucially, execution.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And while creative thinking generating new innovative ideas, challenging the status quo, that's an important element of strategic thinking,
Sure.
it's also not the complete picture. Similarly, design thinking, which focuses deeply on customer needs to create innovative solutions, empathizing, defining problems, prototyping. Yeah.
Very valuable.
Hugely valuable for product development, yes. But strategic thinking is much broader. It's focused on those long-term organizational goals and effective decision-making across the board.
And it's definitely not competitive analysis alone. Applying frameworks like Porter's 5 Forces, that's valuable input, sure.
That's input, right.
But it's deductive, analytical. Strategic thinking feels more inductive, synthetic. It's about connecting the dots in new ways.
That's a great way to put it. And it's not just strategic planning either. Planning is that collective organizational process, and it's powerfully informed by strategic thinking.
Okay.
But strategic thinking itself relies more on the individual leader's mental processing, their cognition, which then feeds into that planning.
Got it. So this clarity on what strategic thinking is and isn't helps us understand why it's so vital, especially now.
Right. The business world, as we all know, is anything but calm or predictable. It's intensely competitive and turbulent.
Understatement of the year.
Probably. The book uses the VUCA acronym volatility, uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity to describe this world. But it smartly suggests flipping it to CUVA
CUVA. Why the flip?
because complexity is often the underlying core.
Ah, interesting. So complexity means you've got, what, many interconnected variables, making it incredibly hard to comprehend, build mental models, make accurate predictions.
Exactly. Think about managing an organization with thousands of employees, hundreds of facilities, dozens of technologies, plus all the external factors swirling around.
It's mind-boggling.
Strategic thinkers navigate this by simplifying, by understanding the underlying systems, and focusing on what truly matters.
Okay. Then you have uncertainty. Here you can maybe envision clear potential outcomes, but the specific events leading to them are unpredictable.
Precisely. Imagine a government regulation changing dramatically due to an election. Something will happen, just not exactly what.
Right. So strategic thinkers,
They isolate these uncertainties, think in terms of probabilities, and explore a range of plausible scenarios.
Yeah.
They don't pretend to know the future, but they prepare for different versions of it.
and volatility is just things changing fast.
Super fast.
Mm-hmm.
Important things changing rapidly, new competitors popping up, or tech innovations making your product obsolete in like a year. Strategic thinkers are masters at sensing these shifts and responding quickly, adapting.
Finally, ambiguity. This is where there are diverse viewpoints on the problem itself or even what a solution looks like.
Spot on. For example, the push for cost reduction versus the demand for affordable care from different stakeholder perspectives, very different frames.
So the strategic thinker needs to.
They expertly negotiate to create shared frames or understandings, build consensus where possible.
Okay, CUVA. Complexity, uncertainty, volatility, ambiguity. That feels like a really practical lens.
It is. And what's really transformative in the CUVA landscape is the role of AI. Artificial intelligence is, truly revolutionizing strategic thinking by processing just vast amounts of data, identifying patterns humans would miss, making predictions, providing insights previously just unattainable.
So does AI replace the strategic thinker?
No, not at all. The book suggests the future involves a powerful, symbiotic relationship. Human leaders will be responsible for framing the right questions for AI.
Ah, the framing again.
Exactly. Interpreting the subtle nuances in the insights AI provides, and then applying their own context, creativity, emotional intelligence, and, crucially, political savvy to act.
So the 6 disciplines we're about to explore remain essential, maybe even more so.
Absolutely essential. They give you the framework to leverage AI effectively.
So here's a key takeaway for you listening right now. Strategic thinking, despite any natural predisposition you might have, is an ability you can absolutely develop.
That's such a crucial point.
The book gives us this powerful equation: strategic thinking capacity, STC, endowment plus experience plus exercise.
Endowment, experience, exercise.
Your endowment, your genetics, upbringing, that's pretty much fixed, right?
Yeah, you work with what you've got there.
But experience, which comes from situations that challenge and develop your ability, and exercise, the mental work you deliberately put in, those are entirely within your control.
Totally controllable. It's like becoming a marathon runner. Genetics might give you a head start, sure, but discipline and consistent practice are what actually get you across the finish line.
Great analogy. And beyond the cognitive side, personality plays a role too.
It does. The book highlights 3 important prerequisites for strategic thinkers: an openness to new experiences, an unshakable confidence in your ability to shape the future,
Gotta believe you can make a difference.
and a genuine drive to win, that ambition to succeed.
Okay. With that strong foundation laid, let's dive into the first 3 disciplines. These seem to be all about recognizing and prioritizing the threats and opportunities around you.
That's right, setting the stage.
Our first discipline is pattern recognition. What it is. It's that almost uncanny ability to look at complex, uncertain, volatile, and ambiguous, our CVA business scenarios. Quickly filter out the noise and spot what is and isn't truly essential. It's about rapidly identifying critical threats and opportunities amidst a sea of information, making sense of the chaos.
The value here is just immense. If you can't recognize those subtle shifts, those emerging patterns, you can't prioritize effectively. And you certainly can't mobilize your organization in time.
So it gives you a head start.
A crucial head start. It allows for faster, more effective action than your competitors. Gene Wood's success in foreseeing healthcare consolidation and acting first. That's textbook pattern recognition.
Right. The book references Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman's two systems of thinking here, which I think are super helpful for understanding this.
Oh yeah, Kahneman's work is foundational here, System 1 and System 2.
I love his work. So, system one is our fast, intuitive thinking operates quickly, automatically, little conscious thought, like recognizing a familiar face.
Your gut reaction, basically.
Right. Efficient, but prone to bias and error.
Very much so. System 2 is our slower, more deliberate, analytical thinking. It's engaged in challenging cognitive tasks. The book says it taps into long-term memory, seeking similar patterns, then constructs a narrative.
Puts the pieces together thoughtfully.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating about System 1, our fast thinking, is something called associative activation and priming.
Okay, what's that?
It means one thought, say government stimulus, automatically sparks a whole cascade of related ideas in your mind, like quantitative easing, liquidity, maybe inflation.
Like mental shortcuts.
Kind of. It speeds up cognitive processing and memory retrieval, which is fantastic for rapidly sensing and responding to emerging threats. Think about spotting a hedge fund, buying a significant stake in your company when your performance is weak.
Yeah.
A strategic thinker picks up on that signal, connects the dots via association, and understands the potential implications much faster than someone who doesn't have those patterns stored.
But as powerful as pattern recognition is, it definitely has its limitations, right? Our attention is inherently limited and selective.
Absolutely. We tend to prioritize the gravest, most obvious threats, but that intense focus can lead to surprising blindness. Remember the invisible gorilla experiment.
Oh yeah, the basketball passes, people counting passes, completely miss a gorilla walking right through the scene.
Exactly. The paradox is that while focus is good, we need to be constantly wary of selective attention. We need to deliberately take time to step back, assess, reflect.
And that reflection helps us combat cognitive biases, which we're all vulnerable to.
All of us. Confirmation bias is a huge one. Actively seeking out data that confirms what we already believe and ignoring contradictory evidence.
We see what we want to see.
Pretty much. Then there's the narrative trap, where we perceive patterns that aren't truly there, like assuming bank stocks are booming on the back of an interest rate rise, without considering a dozen other variables that might be at play.
Or the halo effect. That's when one positive aspect shapes our entire perception of something.
Right. If a company has robust financial performance, we won't just assume they must have a sound strategy or strong leadership, even if that's not necessarily true under the surface.
And who hasn't fallen for the sunk cost fallacy? Also known as wishful thinking.
Guilty. That's when you keep throwing good money after bad, investing in losing propositions, just hoping somehow you'll recoup your losses.
Instead, cutting your losses.
Right. Or the self-serving bias, blaming outside factors for negative results while happily taking personal credit for positive ones. Classic human tendency.
So what's the key takeaway here? Debiasing.
Yes, debiasing, recognizing and actively avoiding these biases is absolutely crucial. It means employing critical thinking, scrutinizing your initial perceptions, and being, frankly, deeply skeptical of your own intuitions.
Challenge yourself.
And others. The best strategic thinkers challenge everyone's convictions, especially their own.
Okay, so how do you get better at this? How do you improve pattern recognition?
Good question. First, immersion. Deeply soak yourself in specific business domains, marketing, specific industries, government relations, whatever is relevant. The more you immerse, the more powerful and accurate your mental models become.
Build that internal library of patterns.
Exactly. Also, actively engage with experts in pattern recognition. Observe them, learn their thought processes. Ask them questions like, what patterns did you perceive here? What was truly novel about this situation? And how confident are you in that assessment?
Learn from the best. Makes sense.
And this sounds obvious, maybe, but you really need to cultivate curiosity and cast a wide net for information. Actively seek info from diverse sources, look for trends, constantly develop new hypotheses.
Like Fred Smith at FedEx reading for hours a day.
Precisely. Assimilating information from many disciplines just to spot change and opportunity. Case study analysis is another fantastic tool. Consuming diverse, realistic cases builds those mental models and lets you learn lessons without the real-world stakes.
Practice without the pain.
All right. Simulations also offer a powerful, safe environment for experimenting in complex situations, gaining insights into cause-effect relationships.
And finally,
Good feedback. Detailed, constructive performance feedback is incredibly helpful for rapidly refining your decision-making. It helps you find that optimal balance between speed and accuracy, test your convictions, and overcome those biases we talked about.
Okay, that's a great overview of pattern recognition. That sets us up perfectly for discipline 2, systems analysis.
Right. They're closely linked.
So what it is, it's about building robust mental models of complex domains, like your competitive environment or your own organization.
It means breaking phenomena down into their core elements, understanding how those elements interact, and mapping out the key cause-effect relationships. It's a holistic approach.
Holistic, focusing on connections, the bigger picture, not just isolated parts.
Exactly. And this discipline significantly enhances your pattern recognition by reducing your cognitive load. It helps you quickly see challenges and predict impacts more accurately.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about the Suez Canal blockage in March 2021 when the Ever Given ship got stuck.
Oh yeah, massive disruption.
Massive. A small failure, a navigation error, rapidly fractured global supply chains, stopping $9 billion in trade daily. Why? Because the system was designed for just-in-time efficiency with very little slack or redundancy built in.
So systems analysis helps you see that fragility.
And helps you design contingency plans for entire classes of such disasters, not just that specific event.
Or take the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. You mentioned savvy investors.
Right. Investors who understood how markets behave under stress could anticipate the cascades of events. Bill Ackman, for example, famously made a $2.6 billion profit on a $27 million bet that insurance premiums would rise.
Because he saw the systemic fragility, the domino effect.
Exactly. That's systems analysis in action. See the interconnectedness.
So how do you apply this to your organization?
Well, the book points out that system models have three core components: elements, interconnections, and purpose function. Watkins adapted Galbraith's STAR model, which is a brilliant way to visualize your organization.
The STAR model, how does that work?
Think of your organization having a strategic direction, purpose, vision, goals, a structure and decision-making setup, core processes and systems, the right people and capabilities, and ways you measure and reward performance.
Okay, 5 points.
And at the very center, binding it all together, influencing everything, is your culture. Shared values, beliefs, norms.
And the key insight is?
Changes in one element always impact others. Always. Misalignment causes dysfunction. For instance, if you launch a new customer-centric strategy but don't align your decision-making processes or data systems to support it, it just won't work. You need coherence or fit.
That makes perfect sense. What are the key system concepts we need to grasp?
Good question. First, leverage points. Those small places where modest changes can create disproportionately significant shifts in the entire system. Culture, being at the center, is often a key leverage point.
Find the right lever, get a big result.
Exactly. Then there are limiting factors, or binding constraints. Think of them like bottlenecks in a production line. They constrain growth regardless of how much effort you put in elsewhere. Identifying them shows you exactly where to focus your effort for maximum impact, like Goldratt's theory of constraints.
Focus on the bottleneck.
Right. Also crucial are feedback loops, where outputs circle back as inputs. These can stabilize a system like a car's cruise control.
Or thermostat.
Or thermostat, good example. But they can also resist change. Think of those restraining forces that make organizational transformation so hard. That's often a balancing feedback loop maintaining the status quo.
And finally?
Nonlinearities and tipping points. This is super important. It means input changes don't always generate proportional output changes. A tipping point is a critical threshold where a small change can lead to rapid, nonlinear, and often irreversible shifts.
Like melting polar ice, it's not gradual forever.
Precisely. A classic example. Organizations can experience positive tipping points too, though like when resistance to change suddenly diminishes once enough progress has been made and momentum builds.
So if you want to design an organization that can truly thrive in this turbulent CUVA world, one that can sense and respond effectively?
The book describes 4 interconnected subsystems you need. First, threat detection. Constantly scanning your environment, internal and external. Recognizing risks, raising awareness, but critically, distinguishing real signals from noise.
Man.
Crisis management, a rapid mechanism to mobilize and mitigate damage from unpredictable surprises. Going into warfighting mode, maybe with centralized control, modular response plans ready to go.
Like a fire department for the business?
Sort of, yeah. After that comes post-crisis learning, disciplines and processes to actually distill and disseminate what you've learned from a crisis. This strengthens both threat detection and crisis management for next time. Think of the U.S. Army's after-action review.
Learning from mistakes systematically.
Critically important. And finally, problem prevention. The proactive subsystem that acts on emerging problems identified by threat detection, taking steps to avoid issues before they blow up.
And this applies to opportunities too, right? Not just threats.
Absolutely. The same logic applies to recognizing and responding to opportunities proactively.
Okay, but a model is only as good as its accuracy.
Exactly. A vital point. Models are only helpful if their fidelity is high. They need to capture the essential features and dynamics. An oversimplified model, or worse, an out-of-date model, that can lead to dangerously wrong predictions or unintended consequences.
So unlearning old models is important too.
As crucial as building new ones. Maybe more so sometimes.
So how do you improve your systems analysis skills?
First, practice defining boundaries. It's a crucial first step, that balancing act. Too narrow, you miss knock-on effects. Too broad, you drown in data.
Find the right scope.
Then, try mapping causal loop diagrams. It's a powerful visual tool. It helps you deepen your understanding of how elements are connected and test your mental models. See the feedback loops. Make it visual.
Definitely. Also, consciously assess limiting factors. Pinpoint those bottlenecks where even a modest investment could unlock significant energy or growth. Where's the biggest leverage?
And simulations again?
Yep. Practice with business simulations. They provide that safe environment for experimenting, gaining direct insight into cause-effect relationships without real-world risk. Really valuable for honing systems thinking.
Okay, great. Now we move to discipline 3. Mental agility sounds dynamic.
It is what
Yeah.
it is. It's that incredible capacity to continually rethink the best ways to move your organization forwards amidst all this increasing CUVA.
Constantly reassessing.
Right. And it really relies on two core cognitive abilities: level shifting and game playing.
Level shifting, what's that?
It's the ability to explore challenging business situations using different levels of analysis to truly see the forest and the trees simultaneously.
The big picture and details. And more. It's foreseeing future developments while understanding their present implications, and then fluidly moving between those perspectives. Zoom in, zoom out, look ahead, look now. Gene Woods himself calls it being a cloud-to-ground thinker.
Cloud to ground, I like that. Knowing when to be in the clouds and when to be on the ground.
Exactly. You need both vantage points.
But I can imagine a pitfall here, right? If a leader shifts levels too rapidly without signaling it clearly, could give the team mental whiplash.
Oh, absolutely. It's a powerful skill, but communication is key. You need to bring your team along with those shifts.
Okay. And the second part of mental agility is game playing.
Yes. This means focusing intently on the games your business needs to play, and crucially anticipating the actions of other intelligent players, your customers, suppliers, competitors, regulators, everyone with a stake.
Like chess.
Gene Woods described it as like playing many chess games simultaneously. These games involve both value creation, which often requires cooperation, like industry associations shaping regulation, and value capture, where competition is key, like competitors fighting for market share at a low-growth industry.
Win-lose.
Often, yeah. Strategic thinkers excel at assessing the type of game, identifying all the players and their true interests, spotting opportunities for both creation and capture, and then crafting clever strategies.
So this involves applying game theory concepts.
Definitely. Things like first-mover advantage. Being the first to act can yield a significant benefit, especially in rapidly consolidating industries where making attractive acquisitions early is key. Recognizing when that applies is crucial.
Timing is everything.
Sometimes. Then there's signaling. This is indirect communication designed to influence others' actions. Think of making a subtle price change just to test a competitor's response.
Testing the waters.
Or, conversely, making deep price cuts to deter a full-blown price war. You can even make irreversible commitments, like an EV manufacturer announcing a massive new battery plant to signal commitment and deter potential competitors. Makes it look too costly for them to enter.
Sending a message without saying it directly.
Exactly. Another powerful concept is sequencing. Being strategic about the order in which you approach and influence people to build momentum. Gaining one respected ally often makes it significantly easier to recruit others. It creates a virtuous cycle.
Like building a coalition, piece by piece.
Precisely. Game trees, which visualize moves and counter moves like in chess, are incredibly valuable for clarifying your thinking about sequences.
And backward induction, that sounds familiar.
It is. We touched on it earlier. It's where you look forward to your desired end state, then reason backward, step by step, to define the best first move to get there. Top chess players do this instinctively. It's also the core idea behind era planning for a career or a long-term business strategy.
Start with the end in mind.
Essentially, yes.
So how do you develop this mental agility, level shifting and game playing?
First, intentionally practice level shifting. Force yourself.
Mm.
Okay, now big picture. Now fine details. Now implications 5 years out. Now what do we do Monday morning? Make it a conscious exercise.
Build the mental muscle.
Then, engage in activities that naturally develop game playing. Play strategy games. Chess, Go, bridge. They're fantastic for this. Bridge, the book notes, is particularly good for practicing signaling because of the bidding process.
Interesting. What about in the business context?
Organize scenario planning workshops. We mentioned these before, but they're key here too. They broaden your scope, force you to consider multiple possible futures, identify diverse threats opportunities, and formulate truly robust strategies that hold up under different conditions.
And encourage debate.
Absolutely. Promote open dialogue, using techniques like dialectical inquiry, setting up opposing viewpoints to stress test ideas, or devil's advocacy, where someone deliberately argues against a plan to uncover its hidden weaknesses.
Find the flaws before the market does.
Exactly. And don't underestimate role-playing.
Hmm.
Simulating interactions among different players, competitors, customers, regulators, helps you anticipate their likely actions and reactions much more effectively.
Okay, so we've covered the foundational disciplines: pattern recognition, systems analysis, mental agility, recognizing and prioritizing.
Right. Now we move into mobilizing the organization.
Starting with discipline 4, structured problem solving. This sounds very practical.
It is. Well, it is. It's a systematic, thoughtful approach to breaking down complex challenges. It involves identifying stakeholders, carefully framing the problem, generating potential solutions, evaluating them rigorously, making a selection, and then implementing.
So it's a process for dealing with threats and opportunities.
Exactly. The book uses problem broadly to cover both. And decision-making is then about choosing the best solution from mutually exclusive options based on clear evaluative criteria and understanding the necessary trade-offs.
But the real challenge comes with those wicked big problems.
Oh,
really.
yeah. Those are novel, highly challenging, and they exhibit all those UVA factors we discussed.
Remind me.
Complexity makes cause-effect hard to figure out, needing good systems models. Uncertainty means working with probabilities and risk, needing an agreed basis for evaluation. Volatility means the seriousness can change suddenly, needing rapid sensing and reassessment. And ambiguity means no consensus on the problem or solutions, demanding negotiation and alignment.
Tackling those requires real structure.
Absolutely. Leading structured problem solving involves a 5-phase cycle. And crucially, this is a collective organizational effort, not just one leader in a room. It requires balancing that structured left-brain thinking with creative right-brain thinking.
Okay, phase 1.
Define roles and communicate the process. First step, identify all your stakeholders, anyone, any group, any organization with a stake and influence,
Who needs to be involved?
and how they need to be involved.
Yeah.
The book suggests the ACI framework: approve, support, consult, inform to define roles clearly.
Approve, support, consult, inform.
Right. For Gene Woods' big strategy, his board, CFO, general counsel were in the approve support camp. Product development, country MDs were consulted. Others just needed to be informed.
Clarity on role.
Crucial. And transparent communication throughout. Leveraging the power of fair process, making sure people feel heard, the process is clear, is essential for gaining buy-in, even if they don't love the final decision.
Makes sense. Phase 2.
Frame the problem. This is often the most critical phase, especially for novel or wicked problems. It starts with defining the quest, formulating the problem as a specific, clear question. You also need to size it appropriately. Not too ambitious, not too narrow.
The quest. I like that. And the hero's journey framework.
Yeah, and it's a memorable way to distill your thinking and align stakeholders. You are the hero, your problem is the quest, the best solution is the treasure, and barriers are dragons to be slain. It makes it engaging.
And creativity and framing is key here too, like the 2 monks example.
Exactly. Leveraging biases like loss aversion. The monk asking, is it okay if I pray while I smoke? Emphasizing the gain of prayer, got permission. While the one asking, is it okay if I smoke while I pray, emphasizing the loss during prayer, was refused. Same action, different frame, different result.
Wow. You also need to clarify your evaluative criteria for the treasure.
Absolutely. Define what must be true about an acceptable solution and how options will be assessed. Gene Woods had those specific criteria for healthcare deals. Aligning values culture, market opportunity, scale, financial viability, regulatory antitrust. Strive for criteria that are distinct, compact, comprehensive.
And measure what matters.
And the final part of framing. Identify your barriers or dragons. Anticipate those obstacles before you start searching for solutions. It's incredibly empowering. Gene Woods knew his dragons included team discomfort with ambiguity and convincing his board.
Face the dragons early. Okay. Phase 3. Explore potential solutions.
The golden rule here. Consciously separate exploration from evaluation. Don't shoot down ideas too early.
Let the ideas flow.
Right. For novel problems, you'll need creative development. That might mean breaking down problems with root cause analysis, finding truly creative talent, and providing the necessary space and time for ideas to emerge. Think of Graham Wallace's classic 5 stages: preparation, incubation, intimation, illumination, verification. Give incubation time.
Don't rush creativity. Phase 4. Decide on the best option.
Now comes the rigorous evaluation and selection. You'll often face tough trade-offs when criteria aren't equally important: taste versus time for lunch, right?
The eternal dilemma.
Scoring systems can be used assigning scores and weights to criteria, but they should always be treated as advisory, not determinative. Judgment is still required.
Use them as a guide, not a dictator.
Exactly.
Right.
And for objectivity, it's best to define those scoring systems back in the framing phase, not during evaluation when biases might creep in.
Good tip. And finally, phase 5.
Commit to a course of action. Remember, solutions aren't just answers on paper. They are paths forward requiring substantial, often irreversible resource commitments.
Time, money, people.
Right. Of course, paths can be adjusted based on feedback.
Yeah.
But each adjustment generates new problems for subsequent cycles. It's iterative.
So how do you get better at structured problem solving?
Learn the principles, practice on varied problems, actively seek feedback, and, whenever possible, get involved in processes led by experienced problem solvers. Observe and learn.
Makes sense. Practice makes perfect, or at least better.
Definitely better. Okay, moving on to Discipline 5, visioning.
Ah, the vision thing. What exactly is it in this context?
It's the imaginative work of conceiving ambitious and achievable potential futures for your organization. And then, crucially, mobilizing your team, your stakeholders, to turn those visions into reality. It's about building tangible bridges between a desired future and your current realities.
So clarifying what vision isn't is important here, too.
Very important, because it gets conflated.
Yeah.
It's not your mission that's what the organization does. It's not core objectives. Those are specific targets. It's not simply a strategy that's the general path. And it's not purpose, which is a more general heading or direction.
Can you give an example of purpose versus vision?
Peter Senge put it perfectly. Purpose is advancing man's capability to explore the heavens. But the vision was a man on the moon by the end of the 1960s. Specific, time-bound, inspiring.
Ah, okay. Purpose is the direction. Vision is the destination.
A good way to think about it.
Yeah.
And they absolutely go together.
So why is visioning so incredibly important?
Well, first, a compelling vision energizes and motivates people. It rallies everyone around common goals, helping overcome individual self-interest. It's deeply powerful when employees understand how their work contributes to a meaningful future.
Connects their work to something bigger.
Exactly. Higher engagement, lower turnover often follow. Vision also powerfully supports alliance building. For a new CEO, a clear vision is critical for winning over stakeholders, building that crucial early momentum, and reducing leadership transition risks.
Builds confidence and buy-in. So how do you actually develop a vision?
The book mentions 2 main approaches. You can look forwards, then reason backwards, like backward induction again. Start with the end state and work back. Or you can take stock and imagine possibilities, which is more like what entrepreneurs often do, sometimes called effectuation. Start with your current resources, what you know, who you know, and build forward, discovering possibilities.
2 different paths to a vision.
Right. Regardless of the path, your vision must be both ambitious and achievable. Think Jim Collins's BHA's, big, hairy, audacious goals. They should stretch the organization.
And not break it.
Precisely. They also need to be plausible. JFK's moon challenge was a massive stretch, but it was possible with focus and resources. And remember to build in flexibility. The world changes.
So start personal, then make it shared.
Often, yes. Start by crafting a personal vision consistent with your leadership style and context. Test it with trusted people. Link it to core objectives and fundamental human motivators: achievement, affiliation, power.
Then broaden the circle.
Co-creation can be incredibly powerful. Involving your leadership team or even the broader organization in shaping the vision can significantly increase commitment and buy-in. Gene Woods did this brilliantly. He started with intensive bottom-up listening, at CHS,
Listening first.
synthesized the themes, then communicated authentically. This led to their powerful mission to improve health, elevate hope, and advance healing for all. And the vision to be the first and best choice for care. Simple, resonant, co-created.
That leads to communication, the importance of powerful simplification.
Cannot be overstated. To truly galvanize people, you must communicate your future direction in straightforward, evocative terms. Cut the jargon.
Ow.
Stories and metaphors are incredibly potent. Leaders become effective through the stories they tell and embody. Good vision stories should resonate with the company's existing mythology, its history, its values. CHS's mission tapped into that caring archetype.
What else works?
Repetition. It's effective for persuasion, but vary your phrasing. Don't sound like a broken record. Use different modalities, speeches, letters, videos, town halls. Edgar Dale's cone of experience shows we remember more when multiple senses are engaged.
See it, hear it, maybe even do it.
Right. Use evocative descriptors that graphically embody core values. Think of McDonald's vision. Running great restaurants, empowering our people, getting faster, more innovative. It paints a picture.
And leaders need both push and pull.
Absolutely. You push with formal levers, strategy, budgets, compensation, authority, but you also pull by defining an attractive future that meets employee needs through active listening, individual feedback, showing you care. They're complementary and essential.
You also have to control the narrative.
Crucial. Prevent information voids where rumors breed. Use in-house newsletters, vision boards, regular video updates like leaders at NatWest or Aviva do. This demands respect, trustworthiness, and sound judgment from the leader.
What's the big pitfall to avoid with vision?
Creating a vision that key stakeholders see as grandiose or simply unrealistic. The book uses Bombardier's C-Series aircraft program as a cautionary tale.
What happened there?
Overinvestment, massive cost overruns, delays, severely underestimating the competitive response from Boeing and Airbus. It led to selling the program for basically nothing. Bold self-confidence devolved into grandiosity, detached from reality.
Ouch. A costly lesson. How can you develop your visioning capabilities?
Try the architect's exercise. Regularly imagine how you'd improve a space, your home, your office. Capture observations, sketch ideas. It trains the imaginative muscle.
Simple, but maybe effective.
Or organize a dedicated visioning workshop, an off-site team meeting to collectively envision the future. Use your pattern recognition, systems analysis, scenario planning from the other disciplines. Then work together to define that ambitious, achievable end state. Encourage small groups. Use dialectical inquiry, devil's advocacy again, to test the ideas.
Bring all the disciplines together.
Exactly. They reinforce each other.
Okay, and finally, we arrive at the sixth discipline, political savvy. This sounds potentially tricky.
It can be, but it's essential. What
Right.
it is, it's the sophisticated ability to navigate and, crucially, influence the complex political landscape of any organization.
Politics is everywhere.
Pretty much unavoidable, especially at higher levels. It involves deeply understanding power dynamics, discerning stakeholder motivations, what do they really want, and anticipating the implications of every action you take. It's absolutely essential for achieving goals when ambitious people and ambiguous problems collide.
You can't ignore it.
You really can't. The key is to embrace politics, not shy away from it. Think politically. It's about building alliances through influence, not just relying on your formal authority.
Influence over authority.
Right. Visualize your business as a collection of powerful actors, each pursuing their own agendas. You need to identify your potential winning coalitions, those people with the collective power to support your agenda, and be acutely aware of potential blocking coalitions, those with the power to say no.
And relationships don't always equal alliances. That's a key point.
Such an important distinction. You can have a great personal relationship with someone, but have completely competing incentives on a specific business decision. They might block you despite liking you.
Ouch.
Conversely, you might have a negative personal relationship, but find yourselves perfectly aligned on a shared goal, making them a crucial ally.
So focus on alignment, not just affinity.
Exactly. The book mentions Alina Nowak at Van Horn Foods, who struggled because she relied on her positional authority instead of navigating the subtle political currents and building influence.
What should she have done?
First, have clear influence objectives. Understand precisely why you need support from specific people for a specific goal. Alina needed to negotiate a new marketing deal between her bosses, but it was framed as win-lose. That's tough politically.
How do you understand the key players?
You need to assess the alliances you truly need, especially from those over whom you lack direct authority. Then, identify potential exchanges or currencies you can offer that they value.
Currencies? Like, what?
Could be resources, information, visibility, inspiration, status, inclusion, personal support, even just genuine appreciation. It demands clarity on your needs, but even more so on others' values and motivations. What's in it for them?
Way IFM.
Always. Also, understand their situational pressures, the driving forces pushing them towards your goal, and the restraining forces holding them back. People often overestimate personality, it's difficult, and underestimate these situational pressures. His budget is getting cut.
Look beyond the person to their context.
And crucially, understand their perceptions of alternatives. Do they think resisting your idea can actually succeed? You might need to subtly convince them the status quo isn't sustainable. Address concerns about insecure commitments, maybe phase changes in.
Make it feel less risky for them.
Right. It's also incredibly important to map influence networks. Identify who influences whom on key issues. This reveals the shadow organization of communication and persuasion, often more powerful than the org chart.
How do you map it?
A bullseye diagram can help. Put key decision makers in the center, key influencers in outer circles. Draw arrows showing direction and strength of influence. Then assess who's supportive, neutral, or opposed regarding your specific objective. It makes the political landscape visible.
Okay. Now you have the map. How do you navigate it? Crafting influence strategies.
The book lays out 7 powerful tools. First, consultation. We talked about buy-in. This promotes it by making people feel heard. Active listening, Jeff Immelt called it the most undervalued and underdeveloped business skill. Asking focused questions, summarizing, genuinely incorporating feedback where feasible.
Makes people feel respected.
Hugely important. Second, framing again. Articulating your definition of the problem and solutions using compelling arguments and analogies. Craft messages personally. Use the right tone. Tap into motivations. Shape perceptions of alternatives. Use Aristotle's modes. Logos, logic, data. Ethos, principles, values, credibility. Pathos, emotions, vision, common good.
Logic, ethics, emotion.
Use all 3. Repeat key arguments, but vary the phrasing. And maybe inoculate against counter-arguments by preemptively addressing weak versions of them.
Get ahead of the objections.
Third, social pressure. Leverage others' opinions and group norms. People generally want to be consistent with their values and prior commitments. They feel obligated to reciprocate favors, and they want to preserve their reputations. Align your requests with these tendencies.
Use group dynamics.
Fourth, choice shaping. Influence how people perceive their alternatives. Make it hard to say no by offering yes-able propositions. Maybe broaden the issue to find mutually beneficial trades, or strategically set aside irreconcilable points for later. Make yes the easiest path.
Shape the decision context.
Fifth, entanglement. This is clever. Get people to go step by step where they wouldn't go in a single leap. A shared diagnosis of a problem can entangle stakeholders, making it hard for them to avoid tough decisions later. Taking the initiative to frame problems early gives you influence here.
The boiling frog, almost.
In a strategic sense, yes. Sixth, sequencing. Again, be strategic about the order you influence people. Gain one respected ally makes it easier to recruit the next. Build momentum.
Snowball effect.
And seventh, action-forcing events. Approaches that compel people to commit or act, avoiding endless deferral. Scheduled meetings, review sessions with clear agendas, firm deadlines they create psychological pressure to decide.
Force the issue tactfully.
Exactly. And what really underpins all these influence tools?
Let me guess. Emotional intelligence.
Bingo. Crucial for influence. The ability to accurately read others' emotions, put yourself in their shoes, empathy, and equally important, self-awareness to manage your own emotions effectively in these often high-stakes political situations.
Keep your cool, understand theirs.
There's a great exercise called perceptual positions. Consciously adopt other perspectives. 1, see it through the other person's eyes, empathy, not sympathy. 2, take a neutral, dispassionate balcony view. 3, return to your own view, see how your thinking is shifted.
Practice empathy systematically.
It really helps. So, to develop political savvy, observe and analyze the political landscape constantly. Assess influence dynamics. Experiment carefully with these influence tools, framing, choice shaping, sequencing, and actively build diverse strategic networks, not just social ones.
Build your coalition before you need it.
Wise advice.
Okay. Wow, that's a lot. So what have we unpacked today? Let's try to summarize.
We've taken a real deep dive into strategic thinking, defined it not just as some vague concept, but as a robust set of 6 vital mental disciplines.
Pattern recognition, systems analysis, mental agility.
Right. Then structured problem solving, visioning, and political savvy.
And we've explored how these are absolutely not just innate gifts someone has or doesn't have. They're skills that you can actively cultivate.
Remember that powerful equation. Strategic thinking capacity, endowment plus experience plus exercise. Endowment is fixed, but experience and exercise are totally up to you.
So from recognizing subtle market trends like Gene Woods did, to understanding complex organizational systems, mastering the art of game playing, leading problem-solving cycles with clarity, crafting a truly compelling vision, and navigating the intricate world of organizational politics.
Every single one of these is a muscle you can strengthen with deliberate practice.
And this isn't about becoming an academic or, an abstract theorist sitting in an ivory tower.
Not at all. This is about real-world application, giving you practical tools to better anticipate challenges, seize opportunities, and lead yourself and your organization much more effectively.
Makes sense.
So here's a final provocative thought for you, for everyone listening. In a world where AI is rapidly, dramatically augmenting human abilities,
Yeah.
the truly strategic leader isn't just someone who uses these incredible new tools. It's someone who knows how to ask the right questions of the AI.
The framing again.
Interpret the nuances of the data and insights AI provides, and then leverage their emotional intelligence and political savvy, those uniquely human skills, to implement those insights effectively within their unique organizational context.
So the human element becomes even more critical.
I think so. So the question for you is, what strategic question will you frame next for your AI partner, or even just for yourself, and how will you translate the insights you get into truly impactful action for your world?